Hey everybody, I'm Jack Rita with Future Pastimes, and I am the designer of Cosmic Odyssey, which is the 7th expansion for Cosmic Encounter. And one of the variants that is in this expansion are the moons. And I've done a moon overview video, and the link is in the description there. There are several different types of moons, and in this video we're going to zero in on the moon bases and talk about how they're different and what all of the effects are for it. And there are 8 moons in the game that are clearly marked as being moon bases. So you can tell what type of moon the moons are for most of them, except for the new moons. That's the one with the question mark in the middle. That is the mystery of what type of moon those are, and we'll go over those in a separate video. So what are moon bases? Well, the general rule for moons is that they are just part of the planet that they're attached to. So if you have a ship on the moon, it counts as being on the planet. Normally what happens is when you attack a planet with moons and you win that encounter, you get to divert one of your attacking ships to the moon if it is empty. And of course, if you're the defense and you win, you can launch one of your guys that's on the planet that you were defending onto an unoccupied moon. But it's not a separate thing. It doesn't count as a separate colony. It doesn't count towards the win. Well, the moon base breaks that rule. Cosmic Encounter, of course, is a game where everything is broken by something. And this is how the moon bases work. Having a ship on the moon base also counts as a foreign colony. So if you've got some ships on the planet and it's a foreign colony for you, that's great. That moves your score up 1. And if you have diverted one of your ships to the moon, that also counts as another one. But a little fun fact for you is that the fact that having a ship on this moon counts as being on the planet still holds true for this one. So if all you have is one ship on the moon, counts as being on the planet, it is still 2 foreign colonies. Now, if you are the defense and you divert a ship to a moon base, it counts as a foreign colony. Your ships on the planet do not count as foreign colonies. So it's a little bit of a nuance, but it's not really that hard to grasp. It's just once you've got a ship on this moon, that's an extra foreign colony. Just keep in mind that the moon, if it's a planet that is outside of your home system, then it's counting as 2. So that is nice. But the thing is with all of the moon bases is that while you occupy them, you have a little bit of a handicap as well. So let's go over the different effects for each of these moons. So starting with number 1, which is the flush moon. So this moon is treated as a foreign colony. At the start of each player's turn, send one of your ships from one of your colonies to the warp. So that's at the start of everybody's turn. You're losing a ship to the warp. Now, of course, when it's your turn, you're going to get one out. So that's a little bit of an offset. Although if you were counting on getting one out because you're already low on ships, well, you're just breaking even. So the flush could be a painful experience for somebody, especially earlier in the game. But again, you've advanced your score by 2, so that's the trade-off. Number 2 is the warped moon. So the way this one works is this moon is treated as a foreign colony. That's going to be a theme. Your ships cannot be removed from the warp. So if you occupy both of these, that's going to be a hard time for you. So yeah, you got to be careful about occupying some of these. And again, you can see the art on here, so you know you're getting yourself into some kind of trouble. These are better later in the game, but you might not have that much of a choice here. Number 3 is called Home Strong. So this moon, treated as a foreign colony, you cannot win the game unless you have a colony on each planet in your home system. So this one might require you to hope that destiny goes your way on your turn and you draw your own color, just so that you can make sure that you have gotten back a colony that you may have lost earlier in the game. Moon base number 4 is called 4 is Enough. And this is another example of Frank Brooks cleverly arranging the effects so that when a number lines up with a number in the name, he makes that happen, which pleases me to no end. So 4 is Enough, treated as a foreign colony. During the regroup phase, if you have more than 4 cards in your hand, you must discard down to 4 cards of your choice. So again, if you've got, if you have a lot of reward cards, this is going to be a painful one for you to occupy. Some cases, 4 is enough, so maybe it's not so bad. Number 5 is the Streamlined Moon. So this moon base is treated as a foreign colony. During the regroup phase, if you have 9 or fewer ships in the warp, send your ships to the warp until there are 10 of your ships there. So this is another one that goes with number 1 and 2, flush and warped. Streamlined, very painful. Number 6 is called Power Pay. So occupying this moon, it's treated as a foreign colony, and after you use your power, send one of your ships to the warp. These moon bases really are going to punish you with your ships more than anything. Number 7 is called Limits. So treated as a foreign colony, you cannot have more than 1 encounter on your turn. So that one, maybe not. Some of these are going to be more impactful than others. We'll see. That one, at least you're not losing any ships. And finally, number 8 is called Tentative. So treated as a foreign colony, when you become an ally, you cannot send more than 1 ship. So sometimes not a big deal. A lot of allies only send 1 ship. So they'll be like, oh, I'd be quite happy to occupy that one. But if you're trying to stop the win, or if you're trying to go for the win, that could be a limitation. As with many of these moon types, we like to play games where we single out a particular type. So we might say everyone is going to get at least 1 moon base in their system, and then maybe 1 of another type of moon. So again, we know what's out there. The fact that there's 8 of these means that everyone can have 1 in an 8-player game, which was by design. 8 is, in Cosmic anyway, is kind of a sacred number. So I made sure that each of the different types of moons had at least 8 in there. We're going to get to one that has more, and the new moons, there are a lot more than 8 in there. But yeah, I like that. I like to curate a type of cosmic experience, which is easy to do with the moons, the way that we have categorized them. So this is a new category type. Original Eon edition, all the moons looked the same on one side. The other side, it had the name of the moon and a number, and then you looked it up on a separate sheet, and they were wafer thin tokens. The Mayfair edition had much bigger moons, thicker cardstock. They divided them into 4 categories, and they had the effects written on the moons, but we opted for just having the symbol and a number, and then having a separate card, which is how the space stations work, so that precedent was there. And it is easier to just have all of the timing stuff on the card. You've got more room for more description, which helps out. So those are the moon bases. I like them a lot. Some people are a little confused about the fact that it's 2 foreign colonies, basically, as soon as you get it. Even if you're only attacking with 1 ship and then it's going to the moon. That ship, it still counts as being on that planet. So if you are attacked, if you're the defense and all you have is a ship on the moon, that ship is at risk. And if you lose the encounter, your ship is gone. So you just consider it part of the planet with like a little nodule sticking off the side. That's what the moon is. And that's how these rules work for the moon bases. So let me know what you think of moon bases. Like I said, it is a new type of moon to Cosmic Encounter. I like them quite a bit. I have to, a little trivia, there's another type of moon that is orange. And in the play testing, those were the moon bases. And it actually took me quite a while to reprogram my brain to understand that. I kept thinking that these were the moon hubs, which is also another new type, which we'll get to. But yeah, that was a little bit of a switcheroo. So I just have to convince myself when I'm looking at them, that's a moon base, not a moon hub. So beware if you're going to attack it. Let me know in the comments what you think of these moons. If you have a favorite one, if you have any interesting stories involving the moon bases, definitely want to hear about that. That's it for this one. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again soon.